Hey guys, it's Will. So BigBear.AI made a huge deal this morning. Apparently, they've got some new insights that are happening that we want to pay attention to. So take a look. If we go to our recent trades this morning, we were trading CTM stock. We're up about, I think we have drawings here. Do we? Yes. Okay. So we entered here and we were looking at a stop around 132. Look how close it is to that take profit up at 145. We entered it this morning. About $266 profit so far in the last about 45 minutes. Now, when it comes to Big Bear AI, they might have some movement. Oh my gosh, it's moving around. Palantir is up. That's even more interesting. Part of it could be, oh my gosh, XTIA. That's one we've covered for a while. It's up 142%. But anyway, when it comes to the markets, they're looking very green today. Maybe it's because Elon recently apologized to Trump around what happened with that whole Twitter fiasco. But it also could be because we got the investors that they're looking at the markets, they're green and they're buying because we're expecting a rate cut soon. And that could be a key thing to watch. So the only thing that could send the markets down in this week and into the next week is really just watching the job reports. We're going to have to see how that looks this week. So when it comes to the Big Bear AI movements today, and I got Loco, I got a kitty cat on me. He's a big boy. You guys see him? Whoa, look how big he is. He's the size of this monitor. Big Bear AI, we know institutional investors are there. The market of AI defense is growing fast. They scanned my face at the airport, so we know they're legit. We go to their stock, and they've got some. We go to their stock, and they've got some market cap of just over $1 billion, and news starts to kick in. Here's what's going on. If we go directly to Big Bear AI, that's going to be the move. So BigBear.AI, and we're going to want to check out their recent news that came out. Apparently, someone just told me, a little birdie inside of Stockmates said, hey, what's going on with the news that they just announced? Big Bear AI has got a strategic partnership with EasyLease, and Vigilix announced strategic partnership in the UAE, which this partnership is set to accelerate the research, development, and deployment of innovative AI-enabled solutions that support digital transformation throughout the United Arab Emirates and the broader region. So the CEO said this partnership is both a privilege and a milestone of Big Bear AI. It's a powerful endorsement of our technology and our values. They didn't specifically talk about the different software or what would be used. It just says mission ready artificial intelligence, and there's no actual contract value assigned. So while this is a new partnership and it's possible we start to see some new contract values attached to this and even revenue show up in their new financials, which by the way, their financials in the last quarter, when they reported, they even said we were seeing that we didn't bank all of the we did not account for all of the contracts that we got, and some of them just simply hadn't hit our account. So for that reason, they might have a very surprising quarter in this next quarter. So we'll be watching Big Bear AI. So when it comes to the chart and what's happening today, we're seeing this move. We had a choice this morning. We said, do we trade BBAI or do we trade CTM? Looks like either way we would have been good because we were looking at it at this dip at $3.79, and it continued to rally about 4.6% from there. But we're still in CTM, so we're going to see if this rally continues that we're watching there as well, up to that $1.47 range. So that's awesome. But when it comes to what most people don't realize about Big Bear, the interesting thing is that they are one of the only AI companies that's been getting traction that you can legitimately see the usage in first person. So I know that their technology is something that's literally they're signing contracts, yes, all that, but actually seeing it in person is a big indicator for me that kind of shifted my interest. So when we take a step back at the stock, it's at a $3.90 price point right now. And we're looking for it to potentially make this swing up into this level of about $4.37. We have long-term positions at a $2.80 average on Big Bear. We started covering it. Oh, loco. My cat's being so sweet. We started covering it back here in October at $1 a share. It might have been under $1. Yeah, it was right about $1 a share. And when we were covering it, it made that surge, that rally up until February, where it peaked out at $10.36. It really sold off all the way until April. In April, it found a bottom at $2.30, and then it's been continuing this trend, this uptrend, where it was perfect in its uptrend for a little bit there. It was very perfect from April and finding higher highs and higher lows through May and into June. And then just recently, at the start of June, started consolidating from left to right and left that overall trend. So we talked about a crucial level yesterday at $3.70 and that it needs to hold. It looks like it's held. It did bounce up 5% there. And so to continue, the rest of this swing would be about a 10% swing up into that $4.33 range. Aside from that, of course, what we're all talking about is, can we see that recovery back into that $5 to $7 range? It's really interesting, right? Because we had a sale running for StockMate, which is our daily live trading, where I said if it hits over, I think we said it was $7 a share, StockMate is free. And then we also ran a sale if StockMate or if Big Bear goes below $3.50 by June 20th, then you also get StockMate for free. So we were running that sale for Big Bear people to take a chance on our daily live trading. And so far, it's not up to 7 and it's holding above that $3.50 range. Now, of course, I want to give away StockMate for free. So getting up into that $7 range, to me, I'm winning big, and I would be more than happy to give away our daily live sessions and access to our StockMate reports for free, because I feel like that would be a very good trade for me, because I would be making money and I would be more than happy to, have the community benefit as well. And then that sale that we ran for, if it's below 350, then you get StockMate free. That was one that was just like, hey, this thing's a bull. If it goes below, you probably lost some money and I'll compensate you. I don't have to do that. It's just how we like to creatively run our sales. And I don't tell you guys that because it's any form of like, it's not any form of like manipulation of like, this is for sure going to happen and you guys all believe me, so do this so you get StockMate, so you join our daily live trading. I mean, you guys know we trade every morning. You get to see it. Our portfolio's up 5.19% or 5.77% now. And part of the reason why is because we're just consistently watching the markets and staying up to date on stuff. But ultimately, I run the sale because, like I said, if I win big, I want you guys to win big too. So just keep that in mind. That's the whole premise around that. So we'll see if it could continue that swing up into that $5 range. It's about a 30% swing. And we are holding above $3.70. So that's a key level for Big Bear. And we will continue to monitor it and watch it closely. There was one thing too. If they're expanding into other government tech, there was one thing that came out a while back where when we were looking at their news, we know they have like the Army contracts. It was like $160 million contract with Army. They were even working a little bit with the Panama International Forum. They have the Department of Defense contracts, the DoD, and they work with, TSA, and they have the airline contracts for their facial scanner that's at the airports, right? Not just TSA, but actually with individual airlines, if I'm not mistaken. But outside of that, this new partnership, it kind of raises questions, because what happens sometimes is with Big Bear, and you watch this with companies, and it's not a reason to be too alarmed, but one thing that happens is like if a company is focusing a lot on other sectors, it kind of makes you think like it's kind of like capitalism, for example, when, for example, spending, consumer spending goes down. What do the big companies do? Do they lower their prices? Not usually. They just offer more product at lower prices. So they'll offer new products, lower prices, and try and sell more than in the environment when have the uh, they have the consumer spending, and so they could just like sell a core product, something like that. So kind of when an economy's not doing as well, what do people do sometimes? Like they add more product, and try and sell more of it at lower prices. Now, I'm not saying that's the case, but like, and I don't think that's happening here because I've seen the real world usage, but it's still something to consider. Like with KULR, they started expanding into battery tech, they started expanding into robotics. It's not necessarily a terrible thing. Like a if there's any time to do robotics, it's probably right now. So it's a good idea. But nevertheless, when they spread themselves thin, you have to think about it. So one thing that they offer just a little bit further back, I don't know if it's in their digital identity management here. You see the Veriscan, that's the one that we've seen in person. They have the threat detection for the TSAs, and then ARCAs, which is for like satellites. But there was the introduction where they came out with news that they were working with like point of sale. So not normal press release of like Department of Defense or stuff like that, but I think it was back here in February, possibly. Yeah, February 20th. They come out with this facial recognition matching technology for payment transactions. And it's fine, but then that was something like Soft Point Pay. I'm like, okay, they're working with Soft Point's network of established retail partners. It's good. It's a good partnership. But why? Is it because they can't find other deals with the U.S. government? That's kind of a pessimistic way to look at it. But with that recent deal today, they got a partnership with the UAE. Is it because they, were like, where can we find other governments that need this? Because we're struggling to get the contracts with the U.S. government. We do know there's been a little bit of a crackdown, like less contracts. Like Palantir was moving big today. There wasn't any like, it's really interesting because I don't think there was any catalyst that was really shooting that stock up. And so, I'm just wondering because we know there's less Department of Defense contracts going out. And so that was kind of the thought process was, when they expanded to other markets, they expanded to other countries, does it have anything to do with that their current market is having some turbulence, something like that? So just something to watch out for. We're going to continue to monitor kind of the Department of Defense spending and also where they come out with their main contracts. Some of those sources, they got more spending, most likely some locked in contracts that will show up in their earnings positively here in the near term. At least that's how it was looking when we were looking at their balance sheet. They had been paying down some debts here. And when we looked at the finance side of things, the income statement, their net income had become better in the last quarter. And their balance sheet, they paid down a massive amount of debts into the last quarter. So they went from $350 million in debt down to $198 million in debt. However, their total assets reached that all-time high in the year of 396 million in total assets. So liabilities shrinking, assets increasing, and revenue holding steady could be a really nice storm for them as they approach their next earnings. So we'll be watching them closely. Thanks so much for watching. And again, if you guys want to join us in our live session tomorrow morning, would love to have you there as that sale for the 20K subscriber special ends tonight at midnight. So make sure to take advantage of it if you want to be there because it's not getting better than this. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you all. If I earned your thumbs up, hit the like button. Do consider subscribing. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.